Welcome, my friends, to the Be a Paid Speaker Now podcast. I'm Deborah Deras, your host. Each week, you'll hear from top experts in the speaking industry who will share their insider secrets. Learn what works and what doesn't by hearing real stories of success and failure. My intention is to be your speaking coach to help you reach your goals faster and easier. I believe you are the messenger for the message. So thanks for tuning in, and let's get started. We have an amazing guest. I actually think he's my favorite. I know I've said that before, but in Spanish we say consentido, favorite, because just seeing his business from the time I met him to where he is now, it's just so inspirational to me, and I know it's going to be so inspirational to you. So I'm so grateful in his busy schedule that he was able to be here with us. We have Mr. Dan Gordon. He gets high achievers into action. He only works with those who have a track record for success and are seeking exciting new frontiers in life. Is that you? As a transformational leader, Dan helps people step into bold new landscapes. Hold on, I lost the track. Where their greatest selves are revealed. So we are going to have an amazing time with Mr. Dan. Welcome.
Hello, Deborah. So good to be here.
Oh my God, he sounds like a DJ, right? Were you a DJ in another life?
I was not.
Oh, there you go. It's another talent to add to your career. So I just want you to share with them your story of being an expert and amazing marketing consultant that I know you are, and then to hitting that stage. Like, what was the journey and the process for you?
Well, it's so funny that you should mention marketing because my road to be a professional speaker was this. I'll give it to you in 30 seconds. Around July of 2016, I was a man in a very unusual position. I was face down on the carpet of a Washington, D.C. hotel room, crying my eyes out because I was having a nervous breakdown. I had lost my business. I had lost all of my money. I had no seemingly potential for income, for a future, for business. My business as it was had completely collapsed, and I was a wreck. 18 months later, I was in Dallas, Texas, in front of in front of 1,000 people, being paid $10,000 for 1 hour of my time on stage. So my journey going from crying on the carpet to in Dallas was an exceptional one. And I can tell you it was fraught with a tremendous amount of discomfort, sometimes pain. But that's really what it takes. You know, the start as a professional speaker is understanding the experience of life and the highs and the lows and everything in between, and being able to negotiate that, come out of it, and then inspire other people to step forward on their own journey.
It's so true. You know, in coaching a lot of new speakers, I'll hear them say, "Oh, but I feel really scared and uncomfortable." I'm like, well, welcome to the world of speaking. It is not it's not the business for the people that want to be comfortable. Every single time I hit a stage, I know I'm uncomfortable. I don't know the crowd, this, that, you know. And so how were you able, like what strategies were you able to do to get you out of that funk so that you could actually be a servant leader?
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, I have been through enough difficulties in life where I know that life comes at you on life's terms. If you try to beat life in life's game, you're going to lose every time. And so there's a certain amount of surrender that you have to do. So even when I was in the depths of my struggle, I knew somewhere in my head, I knew this wasn't the end of something. It was the beginning of something. And when I picked myself up and went to the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, which is my favorite place in the world, I was inspired. And I asked myself, what is it that I've been consistently good at in my life? And I've been consistently good at being in the changing other people's lives business. been good at helping people become better versions of themselves. So I knew I wanted to step that up and do it not just one-on-one, which I do with clients, but do it in a much bigger capacity. And I knew that in order to get there, I could not do it alone because nothing great was ever created alone. And so my 3 tools of going from the carpet to the stage are networking, and want to guess what the third one is?
Networking.
Networking. Very good, Deborah. I'm so glad that you jumped on that. Yeah, you got to find people who are in your tribe. You got to get out there. You cannot sit alone in your home and come up with a plan and then just go hatch it. You have to get out there, find people in your tribe, inspire them, ask them for support, find mentors, find coaches. Like, the way that we met is I went to a free workshop that a college was giving on social media. And I met Deborah and I'm like, holy moly, this person has something. I gotta get to know her. And I had no idea of anything. All I knew is that Deborah was in my tribe. Like we had that immediate connection. I said, she has something and I want to get to know her. And I asked her for support. And so find your tribe, then find people who have audiences and ask them for opportunities to speak. I did like an infinite number of free speaking engagements to anybody who would listen. I met somebody who was in this thing called the Conscious Entrepreneur Network because I found that on a meetup and I joined it. I'm like, hey, do you ever do any events? And we put together events and I started speaking. Join networking groups. I've been in a networking group for 5 years. Get on the board, get involved in the networking group. Every week in your networking group, most networking groups, you do like a little 30-second presentation. Do a different presentation every week and hand someone your phone and have them video the presentation so you can watch it. Go ahead.
That's the only way that you could really see how you are moving or playing with your hair, or whatever it is that you do by videotaping. And, the networking thing is all about the power of synergy. Because when we get into a funk, our ego, that's not our amigo, will say, isolate. Nobody wants to hear you, right? And that's the time that you have to just get up and put yourself out there, no matter how uncomfortable it is. And it was so great to meet you. I knew when I met you too that we were kindred spirits and we're going to be working together. And
totally
to see you go. And one day we were having a session. He's like, I got to make a phone call. I'm going to negotiate this deal. I'm like, for speaking? He's like, oh yeah, keynote speaking. I'm like, we just talked about this last week. Like 3 weeks from the time that we had met, talking about him doing this, he was already negotiating. But that's the power that I want you to talk about the mindset. Because one of the things is networking, but something else about speaking, because I want you to get into fees right after that. So you have to believe in yourself and then be able to ask for those fees so that you receive it. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's funny. David Letterman has this quote where he says, to be successful, you have to believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, pretending you do is good enough.
It's true.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I can tell you that when I had that phone call, first of all, Deborah, you helped me so much on that because it's, we sat down like, all right, in 45 minutes, I have to have this call and I need to sound like I know what I'm talking about. So what are some things I should be saying? And, I guess I'll say it this way. You have to continue to step further and further into things that you don't know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And you have to understand that fear and uncertainty are your traveling companions on this journey.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to say that again because I say that a lot. Fear and uncertainty are your traveling companions on this journey. You have to be willing to be uncertain. In fact, when I was in DC, in July 2016, I made 2 very strong decisions. And one was I was not going to feel confident for a while. Like I wasn't going to feel like I was on terra firma for a while. I just became comfortable with the fact that I was going to be uncomfortable. And the other one was that I was just going to put myself out there constantly.
Right.
And so it's, it's not like I sat home, developed a tremendous amount of confidence and then went out there. I went out there with not a lot of confidence, and I did, I did fake it till I made it, but I also just said yes to everything.
Yes.
And the other thing is we all have a unique ability to be in service to others. Gandhi said, if everybody knew the joy of service, they would never stop doing it. And it's true. We all have a unique ability to help others. So start using that. Find out what people are struggling with that you can help them with and help them with it.
Yes, I always say that we as experts are speaking on the pain or problem that people have, and we help them solve it. So it's exactly that, and it's knowing that they're out there looking for us, and you're saying yes to free speaking engagements is very important. I mean, I said yes way too long to free speaking engagements. But I still do every once in a while if I think it's going to be beneficial. So, I believe that we can make our free audience into paid audience. That's one of the techniques but how did you know how much to charge?
I thought up a number that I was scared to ask, and I asked for it.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Because I said to myself, and this was literally my first paid speaking gig. My first paid speaking gig, I was paid $10,000. And I'll admit it's unusual, or I'll say it's not typical, but understand
results
that I would. Results absolutely may vary. But understand too, I'd been in a networking group for 5 years prior, and I had made the commitment that every week, and in my group we meet every Tuesday morning at 6:45 in the morning, and every week I came up with something new for my 30-second commercial. So literally, I had been speaking for 30 seconds at a time every week for 5 years. So so that counts. Mm-hmm. But when it came down to ask for it, I looked at the size of the company. And, I talked to you, Deborah, like, what do professional keynote speakers make? And, you quoted different things. And I thought, I feel like I could ask for 5,000 and feel okay with it, but 10,000 would freak me out. So let me just do that and see what happens. And it did. And, when it came time to, when he asked what my fee was, I didn't sneak up on it. And this is really key. You can't say, well, sometimes I do this and sometimes I do that, but, and I do pro bono, but maybe we can, you just have to put it right. It's like, dating taught me a lot about sales, right? You can't like, maybe sometimes if you want to go get coffee, I don't know, just like, hey, let's go get coffee on Thursday. So, and that was it. When he said, "What's your fee?" I said 10,000.
Certainty and conviction.
Yes.
Even if it scared you, you spoke it as if this was your natural always fee.
And and I've done sales a lot, so I can tell you that you drop the price and then say nothing. You just let there be that uncomfortable silence. So when he said, "What's your fee?" I said $10,000, and then silence.
Mm-hmm. Pause. You have to be willing to pause.
Yeah. Like a lot of salespeople or sales trainers will say the first person who speaks after the price loses in the negotiation. I don't know that that's true,
right?
But you just say it and then wait for what they say. If you
I hope everybody wins, actually. They win getting you. So,
and and the fact that he said that's fine, I thought I could have asked for more.
True.
Because what you really want to hear when someone, when you say your price, you want to hear someone say, "Oh my God, are you kidding?" And like, yeah, well, that's what I get paid. And he's like, well, we can't, like if he said, well, we can't afford that, I said, all right, well, what do you usually pay your speakers? But you want to take it from a point of view is this is what I'm worth. This is what I'm paid. this particular gig is something I want to do, so I would be willing to take less because it's valuable for me. But you have to believe in your value.
And then how did you prepare for the speech to nail it, to get another one? I know this.
Oh my God. So Deborah helped me with questions to ask. So I wanted to come up with a series of questions that would help give me the information that I needed so that I'm giving them what they want. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me getting up there and talking about myself. It's serving the company.
Amen.
So Deborah's questions were a great start. I came up with a bunch of my own questions. I talked to some other speakers, and I created what I called the Deep Dive, which is an online intake form. And so I sent that out to 3 of the key decision makers, and I got all that information in. And it's great because in essence, they're helping to create your speech for you. They say, these are the things I want to hit.
Right.
And it's like, okay, great. So then the outline becomes weaved around the things that they're asking for.
Because it's getting right to their culture, their pains, their problems, what they want to leave seeing and feeling and having. And then you give them exactly what they told you wanted. And they're like, you're a genius. You're like, I know.
Yeah. So like, for instance, one of the things that they said is, and this is a company who people sign on as affiliates, and they're paying like $30,000 to become affiliates in this organization. And they said, we want people to feel good about the investment that they made. So I got up there, and one of the things I said is that for every one of you in the room, and this is true, for every one of you in the room, there's 1,000 people out there who wish they had the courage to do what you've done. You are exceptional, and you deserve your own appreciation, and I want to hear it right now. And I got them to give themselves a round of applause, like an enthusiastic round of applause. And it really made the company that hired me really happy, because they said, wow, these people now feel really good about the fact that they're here because you validated them.
Yes. I love that. I love that. And so if now in your speaking career, any specific marketing strategies that you use to get more gigs that other people could use?
It really comes back to networking. Like I'm doing all the usual things. I have a podcast. I'm going to be launching a Facebook book live. I'm finishing a book. I'm designing a new website. I'll do SEO on it, like all that right stuff. But it comes back to talking with people and sharing your vision. You can't replace the power of one-on-one communication. That can't be your only thing, but it has to get out there. And so there's a couple things that I would suggest. First, have a powerful tagline or a line that sums up who you are and what you do. So something that I say to people all the time is, do you want to keep living your life just as you're living it, or do you want to go on an adventure? That's what I do. I will put you on the adventure of your business and of your life. And I use analogies a lot. You want to draw pictures in people's minds. So I say, I take people across the dangerous Indiana Jones rope bridge from where they are to where they're supposed to be and guide them every step of the way. So you can see that rope bridge. You can understand how scary that is to go on a rope bridge that's 1,000 feet, spanning a chasm. The other thing is, follow the great prophets, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who sang, "Give it away, give it away, give it away now."
Exactly.
Give away so much help and so much ideas. Like I have this thing, and I'll pull it up. It's called, I call it the Deep Dive card. And it's 5 questions that help people engage with other people, because communication is becoming such a lost art, being able to hold a conversation. And the mistake that so many people make in conversations is they get in a conversation and they're like, let me tell you all about me. Here's what's going on with me. Here's what I want, because they don't know what else to talk about. So I have these five questions that go from what was your favorite toy as a kid, all the way down to what do you love about yourself? and you really engage people and you learn something about them. And once you do that, once you show a genuine interest in other people, and I mean a genuine interest in other people, they become connected to you. And they feel like, wow, this person's really smart if they're interested in me. And the other thing is that they're much more willing to be of service to you and to help you move your vision forward. This is not about you getting on stage to talk about you. It's about moving a vision forward.
Exactly. There used to be a saying is you're not a sage on the stage. You're an expert with a message. That's why I always say, remember, you're the messenger for the message. It's through you, not from you. You know, our time is already up.
Holy moly.
It's a short podcast. It's short and sweet, friend. But I want people to know where they can find information about you if they want to see you speaking live or hire you for speaking.
You can go to Dan Gordon Enterprise. That's not Enterprise, is just Dan Gordon Enterprise, like the Starship Enterprise.com. And there's my podcast, which is Transformational Marketing is there. It's just up while I am developing my actual real live website that's been I'm just very excited about it because it's going to have all kinds of information and videos. And in terms of Facebook, a good way to connect with me is to go to facebook.com/Dan Gordon Enterprise.
Okay, and I'll put everything in the show notes. So I want to thank you, Dan, for being here today. And I want to remind you that this show is being sponsored by the Be a Paid Speaker Now Academy, where you get the step-by-step videos, 70-page workbook, and program to help you to get your expertise out there so you can be the messenger for the message in the world. My name is Deborah Deras, your host for the show, and we will be back every week with another great speaker. If you like the show, we would appreciate a great review on iTunes and sharing it with a friend, because you know that sharing is caring. So I want you to remember that with the power of synergy, anything is possible. Thanks for tuning in.
Although, one last thing, if you're smart, if you're really smart, you will connect with Deborah Deras, because she is not just an amazing speaker, but an amazing trainer of amazing speakers. Deborah, I owe so much to you. And I'm so happy that you're creating this academy that helps so many people, because it really is such a beautiful profession when done well, and you help people do it so well.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye. Thanks for tuning in. Join us next week for more juicy secrets to get you paid to hit that stage. If you'd like to grab my free ebook on how to be a confident speaker, go to www.deborahderas.com/speak now. And remember, you are the messenger for the message. See you next week.